Sorry if y'all hear the traffic next to me. I have to walk by a road to get where I gotta go, so sorry about that. So let's go. This is what if Goku, Gohan, and Goten were betrayed. Now we start this off at right after the Tournament of Power. Well, a year after. We're going to do this a year after the Broly movie, so yeah. So in this year, Vegeta started feeling more pathetic than he had before. He knew he wasn't under the power to achieve Ultra Instinct, but he also knew that he wasn't going to give up. So little by little, he was getting closer and closer to reaching it. But he knew Goku was already learning, dang near mastering it. Gohan went back to training and is already up to God Blue, and he's he's almost there with his mystic form, fusing with Blue, so he can't keep up with Gohan for much longer. And Goten's already at 3. Hold on a second, guys. Alright, guys, this is another what if now. So I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we got a boy, Goku, Gohan, and Goten. So, like I said, Goten already is at Super Saiyan 3, and they're about to give him Godly Ki. And the way they're going to do it now is by taking Godly Ki and infusing it in their bodies, and then being in a slight Super Saiyan God form. That's going to last for about 20 minutes. But it keeps them a piece of God Ki, and they're able to turn back into God Ki whenever they want, once they've mastered it. Now, at this point, Gohan, who started training knowing Goku wouldn't be there forever, Goten, who started training knowing his father and brother couldn't handle everything on their own, Vegeta being upset because he's not strong enough to handle even Gohan, knowing Goten's got just as much energy, if not more, growing stronger and stronger every day. So him and Trunks started to train. But one day, Vegeta did something unthinkable. Now being that Bulma doesn't really care if Vegeta grabs Dragon Balls, when he said he wanted them, she didn't care. She gave him the Scouter with basically almost all the Dragon Balls, only one needed, which Vegeta went and grabbed. And the wish was for Goku, Gohan, and Goten to be hated by everyone. So in other words, yeah, Vegeta had to make a wish on the Dragon Balls to do it. And that wish was the only thing that they could have done. This wish almost obliterated the world. But what it did was turn everyone against Goku, Gohan, and Goten. Now Patel doesn't even care about Gohan at this point because of that wish. And it basically made all of them see the hatred they had for the 3 of them. Chi-Chi started berating them all 3 at once and told them to get out of her house. And this upset Goku, and he rarely shows anger towards his wife, but he is at this point. He simply said a few words, which the way he finds out this wish was made, because Vegeta got them all together, including Beerus and Whis. Now this wish went all over the universe. To have a deep-rooted hatred for anyone who met these 3 Saiyans. But it only was able to go happening in Universe 7. So he saw what happened, how their entire race was how basically everyone hated them now. And Vegeta, it doesn't matter if he tells them what he did. He literally said, I made a wish on the Dragon Balls, so that everyone hates you now, you 3. Being petty as hell. Anyway, yeah, we start off with Goku training like an absolute unit. And he's already at the point where he's strong enough to pick people up and throw them into the sun like they're jokes. So, yeah. When Goku hears about this, his power ranks up from Ultra Instinct even higher than that. Gohan, well, this is right after Goku trained with his sons in Godly Ki. He'll be in Ultra Instinct. They're both in using their godly forms, trying to hit him and doing their best, even though they can't do much. So yeah, we go into the point where Goku, he is absolutely pissed. He's in Ultra Instinct. And this is right after Senzu Bean, so they're still bigger, more dangerous than Vegeta. That's the whole reason he grabbed Whis and Beerus. So, first thing is, at this point, Goku's trained with Gohan and Goten to the point where he is stronger than Beerus in Super Saiyan 3. So in God form, he's easily outmatching Beerus. Well, not easily, but still, he's able to throw hands with Beerus at that point and win the fight in the end. But at Ultra Instinct, he could easily overwhelm Beerus in everything but Beerus' Ultra Instinct form. At that point, when Beerus goes into his limited Ultra Instinct, it's basically equivalent to Goku in Ultra Instinct. What this means is that him and Goku are basically equals. But Goku has learned how to put Kaioken on top of Ultra Instinct, even adding Super Saiyan and Godly Ki to it as well. Though if he goes into any of that, it is exhausting to him. So he rarely does it unless it's an absolute need be. But he is going to do it. So the first thing that happened was, after Vegeta said this, Goku's anger swelled. Him and Vegeta started swinging, and Goku was overwhelming Vegeta. And this was in Ultra Instinct, just Ultra Instinct. Beerus came out of nowhere with his own version and was equaling up with Goku. Then Gohan straight up was just beating on Vegeta with his full force, using that Ultra form of his and Godly Ki combined. Basically looking like a counter off-brand version of Ultra Instinct, which is basically what it is. It's a slightly weaker version of it, similar to Beerus's, and it's basically overwhelming Vegeta. But then they realize they're at dead stalemates. Vegeta is basically weaker than Gohan. So he started saying, "Help us, Whis." Whis did not listen. Beerus said, "Help Whis handle this Saiyan." And saying that, pointing at Goku, Whis had to fight Goku at this point. Now, Whis didn't want to. Well, he did a little bit, because of the whole wish, but it wasn't fully able to affect an angel's mind. So it was able to affect everyone but Whis. And the only reason it even slightly worked on Beerus is because it took a second wish. I think there's 3 wishes. It didn't work on Whis. It worked on Beerus and the Kai. So basically he said the gods of Universe 7, to feel that same anger towards Goku, which he did, but he couldn't account for the angel of Whis. It would take at least 3 wishes to do that. And he had used 2 of them up on everyone on Earth, on everyone in Universe 7, other than Whis. So his last wish was the wish that gave him as much power as the dragon could grant him. That didn't work out well, because all the power the dragon could grant him was basically around, a few thousand. That didn't do anything to help him at all. A few thousand basically was a joke to him, so he said, "What? Is that all you could give me, dragon?" And Jinwan just basically disappears. Anyway, yeah. Seeing how outclassed they both are, Vegeta and Beerus, Whis now having to fight Goku because he has to listen to Beerus, is actually being completely is basically a close fight. Because Goku is pulling no stops. Like, he's not holding back at all. He's throwing Kaioken, Super Saiyan 3, and... Like, he's throwing Kaioken, Super Saiyan 3, God Ki, and Ultra Instinct at once. For one form that he calls the perfect form. Not really the perfect, but the highest form obtainable right now. The infinite form. It's called that because it's strong enough to throw hands with Whis, but it only lasts 2 minutes. But for 2 minutes straight, he was just beating down. He was throwing hands with Whis. While Gohan and Goten are fighting Beerus and Vegeta. So Vegeta's basically fighting Goten like he's fighting a grown man, wailing on him. And Chi-Chi does not care, no one cares. But then something odd happened. Goku and Gohan summoned their weapons to their hands. For Goku, it was the power pole. For Gohan, it was a sword. Well, kind of a fixed version of the Z-sword, which was his sword, so yeah, he could wield it. And then, for Goten, he grabbed Gohan's original sword. These 3 weapons seemed like nothing. They started laughing at them, saying, "Weapons, really? You think these little weapons could do anything to us?" Unbeknownst to any of them, while the weapons on their own wouldn't really work out well, these are in the hands of 3 very powerful people who infuse each weapon with ki. So it basically looked like it was basically Trunks versus like that Zamasu dude with the ki sword against the brute force. Because even if Trunks was able to injure that thing, I think that Goten with a sword would just be about just as useful. So yeah, Goten is easily able to swing it at Vegeta, even cut Vegeta's arm. But in the end, Goku's force wears out, and he's laying there, almost collapsed. The last thing Goku does is eat a senzu bean trying to regain health. He does. But he isn't able to transform back into him before Whis is just beating him down to the ground. Whis said, "Do not destroy them. Just kick them out of this universe." Whis said, "I'll take them out of the universe," which Beerus said, "Leave my universe." Which seems like a big, threat thing, but really it ain't much. It's just Beerus saying, "Leave the universe." Like he could do jack if they said no. Well, he could, because now they're all 3 beaten and bloodied. The last thing Whis said was, "You get 1 day to gather your belongings." And that 1 day, Goku got all of his stuff in capsules. Bulma, he had put capsules on everything. And if you're thinking Bulma wouldn't help him, yeah, she is, because she hates Goku in this version and wants him off the planet. So yeah, he has a backpack, well, a giant bag bigger than his body, full of capsules, ranging from motorcycles, ranging from just full of food and in the house. So he basically turned his own house into a capsule. And when he said this, he said, "Alright, if this is how you want to go, let's see what happens." Saying that to his wife, and basically taking his home and throwing it into the sun once he gathered all his stuff out of it. He dumped all their stuff out and then basically just threw it in the sun. Taking a capsule house from Bulma, so yeah. But this version, Goku cares nothing for people. So once they've gathered all their things, Gohan didn't grab any books. He just grabbed his geese. And the last thing he said to Pan, which Pan wasn't able to feel the same hatred, while she will be trained to feel the same hatred, she can't physically feel it. Yet, since she's still just a little baby, she still loves that family. She is basically, last thing said by Gohan was, "Here, my daughter." And he gave her godly ki, even mystic ki as well. And when she obtained these two huge powers, it overwhelmed everyone on Earth. There was only 3 beings in existence that could handle this force. And that would be the 3 that they're booting out of there. Now, Vegeta can throw hands with this Pan, but that would basically be him fighting a baby. And the mom doesn't want that, so the last thing that's said was, "How dare you?" And then he gets kicked off Earth. They also kind of get worked out, and he said, "You get we will throw you into another universe. Take your pick, which one?" As these 3 healed Saiyans said, "Whis, what is it, you 3? That wish you made didn't work on you, did it?" "Of course not. I'm a lot more strong-minded than Beerus. Simply put, those little wishes wouldn't work on me." "Okay, so why are you doing this?" "Because it's what Beerus told me to do. I can't disobey a god of destruction, you know." "Okay. Even if you can't, what are you doing this for?" "Well, I can't disobey him." "What if someone took his place as god of destruction?" "You can only do that once when the god of destruction chooses to give up that title as a god of destruction." So in other words, and besides, Vegeta will be the next god of destruction. That was said by Beerus long ago, once he had finally chosen to train you. Once I was training you, Vegeta was the one who chose to become the god of destruction candidate. You were just there. Anyway, we're going to get back into the whole what if. So, at this point, Whis is basically throwing them out, and they said, "Choose which universe you wish to go to, each of you." Goku says Universe 6. Said Universe 6 by Gohan, and even Goten said, I guess, Universe 6. At this point, they all walk into Universe 6, and the first thing alarmed is that there is an angel and 3 crazy high sources of power. First thing that happened is Champa and Vados fly there, basically getting there instantly. They weren't that far away, so they basically land back on their planet with them landing on their planet saying, "These 3 were kicked out of Universe 7, and they had been sent here." "Oh really? If Beerus doesn't want them, why would I?" As Goku just powers up, saying, "Well, 1, I'm more dangerous than you. 2, if you try to mess with me, I can break you in half. 3, any 3 of us could easily kill your entire armies." This little boy couldn't, as Goten just basically almost breaks the arm of this god of destruction, saying, "You want to test that?" As Gohan saying, "Yeah, you want to try your luck?" With a hand on his head, with his right arm on the god of destruction's left. And then Goku with a finger on his head saying, "Test yourself. Let's see what happens." I'm saying, "Fine, they can stay here." So, Whis, what happened? Speaking of the Dragon Balls and what happened, saying, "Oh, so my brother got tricked by a mortal." "Yes," said Whis, and at this point, Goku just says, "Whatever. We're looking for I'll just go find their key signatures. We won't mess up your universe any." Saying, "You don't get it. You beating him messes up my universe plenty. Anyway, fine, you can go, but if you cause any ruckus, I will call my brother to help me destroy you. A smile rising on Goku's face, saying, really? I can throw hands with Whis, who could take on probably both you and your brother. Even if I would lose that fight, these two could handle that part. Oh, really? Said Vados, and what if I had to step in? See, that's where it wouldn't work out. You're stronger than Whis. Whis saying, yes, she is, but not by much. Besides, that's all in brute force. If it was to come down to technique-wise, I could win that fight. Vados saying, true, techniques you do hold the upper hand, but no, my brute force is more than enough to handle most things. Anyway, yeah. At this point, Goku is just walking to that, basically in on that Saiyans, saying, Kiba, saying, Kaba. Kaba standing up saying, yes, sir. I'm gonna train you on how to be a real Super Saiyan. Not the way Vegeta taught you the weak versions. What? But I'm Super Saiyan 2 already. Yeah, and that's a joke. Kefla and what's her name? Kale both say, are we going to learn that form too? Kale, you can't learn these forms. Why? Because your form is too powerful. We'll be teaching y'all Godly Ki, yes. But first we have to get y'all strong enough where you can handle Godly Ki. I know I said Gohan gave it to Pan, but that was for a little baby rampage. Like, I'm talking about being able to master the Ki, which Pan will do when she's older, but not like this. So they said, let's train. And they do. They train like units. And the only one I think that could hang with this training would probably be the gods. So Goku said, I'll take you, grabbing Kefla? Khalifla? I don't know. Gohan pointing straight at Kale, saying, I'll take you. This should be a good training partner. And then Kale saying, I don't know, I was able to hurt your father pretty bad in the tournament. Well, I'm a lot stronger than he was at that point. Oh, really? Let's see what happens. In a kind little voice like Kale always does. And then Kaba saying, so what, I don't get to train? Saying no. And then Goten, who's basically as tall as Kaba at this point, or even taller, says, no, you'll be training with me. Really? You're like, don't comment on I'm a kid. I'm as big as you are, more muscular too. Looking down at him saying, oh. Yeah, okay. But you seem kinda weak. Don't call me weak, I've already obtained forms you can't handle. What? Come on, I'll train you in Super Saiyan 3. What? I haven't got the ability to learn Super Saiyan 3. Sure you could. Just not the way you're expecting it. What do you mean not the way I'm expecting it? He gets punched in the mouth saying, oh really? Alright, let's go. Super Saiyan. Then Kaba goes into Super Saiyan 2. And Goten says, oh, just Super Saiyan 2, that's all I guess you can go into. Yeah, okay. Buffs up into Super Saiyan 2, walks up like he is straight up going to murder this kid. And then powers up even higher, saying, if you can score a punch on me in this form, you win. And that means I'll tell you how to get Super Saiyan 3. Kaba try as he might. He wasn't even able to land a single punch, but Goten was landing all his punches. In the end, Goten basically put Kaba on the dirt. They had senzu beans and knew how to fix them up and make them slightly. They could only make a handful every few months, but they had enough. First thing Goku did when he landed here is he got a pot and some soil, start making senzu beans. Now, at this point, being that he's making senzu beans, he's basically got the entire world underneath him. As in, nothing can handle him. In this universe, he is technically the strongest thing other than Hit. Hit, sensing this disturbance and recognizing the key, flies over to Goku saying, "What are you doing here? What's going on?" Saying what happened, Hit said, "That sucks. You want to help me with something?" Saying, "Sure." Which Goku is not as kind as he is in canon in this version. After being betrayed by his, who he thought was his best friend, his wife, and the one person he's had by him since he was a little kid, he is completely angry. And he basically helps Hit in tracking someone down. And this is hilarious when he does it. So, they wound up tracking down Cool. That chill dude from Universe 6. Which, the whole thing is they had to track him down and basically get him and stop him from what he was doing. He was trying to take over a planet on his brute force. But, not much of a big deal. Okay, guys, I'll see y'all in part 2, which I will make soon. So, later.